Today I'm going to spend a little bit of time sharing with you some ideas that give you the opportunity to actually talk to one another, maybe turn to those around you, as we discuss this beautiful and enduring image of Jesus who says, "I am the Good Shepherd." This is one of the many verses where Jesus claims, "I am. I am the gateway. I am the living water." Jesus often refers to himself in that way. So gently we come to this image of the shepherd, one that's endured in the history of the Jewish people. I invite you to maybe think of some in the Old Testament who had been shepherds. Abraham had been a shepherd. Moses, after trying to do his social justice thing and knock off a few of Pharaoh's troops, spent time in the wilderness being a shepherd. Some of the prophets, their background was being a shepherd. David, the great Jewish king, started life simply being a shepherd. It was an image that had endured, but by the time of Jesus, the shepherd had lost its worth. The shepherd was a person in the time of Jesus who could not give testimony, who was to be untrusted, was not of any worth within the community. Yet this figure often stood in the wilderness, stood against the wolves, the wild creatures, stood in the bleakness of its time. And so Jesus tries to restore and even recreate this image as he says these words, "I am the good shepherd. I'm not someone who's hired to do the job, but I've come because I want to be here." The shepherd knows his sheep, and the sheep know the shepherd. So there in the wilderness of Judea, the shepherd stands as a lonely figure, protecting those sheep around. Jesus goes on to fulfill the metaphor, "I give my life for my sheep." Good shepherd sounds really nice, doesn't it? It's a really pleasant metaphor. But when we start to unpeel what a shepherd does, a shepherd is about the blood and guts, the getting the hands dirty, the doing the real job of shepherding. I have to be honest with you as we stand here today, having been born in London, grew up in London, and spent nearly all of my growing life in cities, I know very little about shepherds, only what I read and what I've seen on the TV. But it seems like the shepherd of Jesus' day earned the money that they had. They were in the tough places, a place that at times even required sacrifice. And today in our churches, where life can be very easy, I want us to think about what a good shepherd might look like in our time, in our place. What a good shepherd's attributes might be in this place as we look to Jesus as the good shepherd. No longer just something that's sanitised and made clear, but really someone who interacts with the sheep. I'm going to give us some time to turn with those around you and discuss Jesus the Good Shepherd for our time. Please feel free to turn to those. Introduce yourself if you don't know those around you. And meditate, think on, discuss these things. Question. we do as being together on a Sunday worship is we crack open the Word of God to share with one another, that we might be encouraged, that we might be caused to continue in our faith, that we might be given food for the journey. As we read these scriptures, it is our food for the journey. Are there anything that you have discussed that you would like to share?
Our group was talking about the wolf that was drugs.
Sorry?
The wolf as drugs.
Wolf as drugs, wow.
And we sort of addressing all those.
Yeah. There are many wolves in our midst, aren't there? Thank you. Other things that you may have talked about. Did anyone deal with the issue of sacrifice? In terms of a God of sacrifice, no? Didn't get that far. I want to throw that one for you to sit and consider. Consider the wolves that devour, that are there constantly, that we need protection from. Did anyone inquire, who are the sheep? Are we the sheep? In the story, we're told of other flocks, other groups that also belong to the Good Shepherd. Causes us to think at times when we see our own precious gates that we build around our flocks, perhaps being pulled down.
Yeah, we thought of the outreach programs running from here.
The outreach programs and
Community we deal with here.
the community, we deal with a very broken community in many ways. How are we to be good shepherds who lay down our lives for those around us in a world that would not want to do that? As others are starting to come back, I want us to continue to think of this imagery of good shepherds that endures down through the age. Many years ago I was in a church ministering and they had a great picture of a very Anglo-looking shepherd with a sheep over his shoulder returning, and it was called The Good Shepherd Window. My friend Lois, it's down at Gardner. You may know it. And there is that image, but certainly the image that I like to think of the Good Shepherd is one who is rugged, often young, taking on the problems that confront the sheep. We are called to be people of the Good Shepherd. Let us hold this great image and let it endure in our congregation and in our lives, that we can be encouraged as people who are part of the flock of the Good Shepherd. Thank you.